Hey guys, welcome in. I wanted to share this video. So I'm a mom I got two kids. I got one 5-year-old and one 2-year-old. She's about to turn 3 in October. But I have officially right now is orthostatic intolerance, but suspected hyperadrenergic POTS. Um, if you don't know what that is, I will explain it during the video, but basically what I wanted to do here, I wanted to record and I guess narrate my experience cleaning. So I started out resting and then stood up and I was like, you know what? I'm getting sick and tired of this goddamn mess on the floor. So I started cleaning and I was like, wait, I need to record this with my heart rate so I have something to show the neurologist. I'm still waiting to see the neurologist, waiting on the referral. But yeah, let's watch the video. So I look very swollen. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but I look very bloated, like basically like I look pregnant. And I go through these phases a couple times a month where I am just extremely bloated and I can't like make the pooch disappear, whether I change my eating habits, I hydrate, I sleep good, which is never. But yeah, I'm not pregnant. I'm just very, very bloated. But let's get started. So I want to point out that my standing heart rate is already pretty high. Based on my own research, which I'm just Googling it, I'm not like deep diving or anything, so I don't have any links for this. But basically, what I got is at this stage where you're just standing, like the start of the video, my heart rate range should be between 65 and 85 beats per minute. Mine was already up in the hundreds. If you'll pay attention, when I'm bending over, my heart rate peaks up just a little bit. And that happens with POTS very frequently, especially with hyperadrenergic POTS. Um, oh, so this bag of toys, our son ended up going through all the coloring books. He snuck my pair of scissors and he cut them all up. It was all over his bedroom. So his dad was like, you know what, you're going to clean this room. And like the next day still wasn't like, he's struggling, he's autistic, but he was struggling. So his dad was like, you know what, you're still going to clean this, but I will take everything out and make it easy for you. So his dad put all the toys and like toy box pieces into a trash bag and brought them out. So that all Victor had to focus on was picking up the garbage pieces. And he was allowed to use the broom. We did tell him he can use the broom, he can use the vacuum, do what you got to do. And so the bag is still, it's clean now. He did a very good job cleaning it, but the bag is still out here. And you can also see I have InSim. I was initially just gonna chill that day and watch some InSim, but yeah, every time I had to get up, and if you have POTS, you know, getting up is a chore. But every time I got up, it was just endless crumbs. And, you know, when you have two little kids, crumbs just magically appear out of nowhere. I mean, they just magically manifest mountains of crumbs. And keep in mind, I deep cleaned this living room not even 5 days before I recorded this. I mean, deep clean. Yeah, so Googling it, bending over compresses abdominal blood vessels, reducing return to the heart, and then spikes heart rate to compensate. So that's why if you see me bending over even a little bit, my heart rate just Yeah, so if you bend over, like, I'm not trying to say like go get checked out for POTS just because you have this one symptom, but if you bend over even a little bit and you go back up and you're lightheaded, definitely see a doctor about it. Because I mean, getting lightheaded from bending over, it can point to a lot of deficiencies. It could point to, like, you could even just be dehydrated and you have to like reassess your hydration routine, because sometimes plain water just isn't enough. I can't drink plain water. You also see me going back and forth a lot with what I'm doing. So I started on the table, I started sweeping, I grabbed the bag, did the table, and now I'm doing trash. I don't have a method. It's like when I started sweeping, I noticed the bag was in my way. So I moved the bag. And then I went back over there. I already forget what was going on, but I went back over there, had to move the bag. Not yet. Uh, yeah, I don't even remember what happened, but I had to clear off the table because I need to get the crumbs off the table.
Oh, Mommy, look at that.
Yeah, that's mommy cleaning.
Whoa, Mommy, look at you go. Hey, Mom. Mommy, what's that?
Hey, mommy's recording. Can you go, please?
Mommy, what is that?
Victor, mommy's recording. Can you go, please? Thank you. What was I saying? So I had to clear off the table because I got to get the crumbs off the table. I got to make sure that table's clean because wherever I put it, it needs to be clean first. Because usually I just throw it in my room really quick, and then when I come to take it out, it's like, shit, the table's still dirty. So then what happened? I took dishes to the sink, and then now I'm doing trash. And that right there was one of my important papers. That's the paper, my visit summary, that's saying that I have orthostatic intolerance. We did the poor man's table test. Let's see. I want to say early this month or early last month. My memory is so bad, but we did the poor man's table test. I can pull up the numbers really quick, actually. So what I had to do was I feel like I have a burp. There we go. Excuse me. What's up, baby?
Mommy, I love you.
What's up, baby?
Please.
No cutties, baby. These kids are obsessed with my scissors. I don't think this is the correct. So 610. Here, let me pause this because I might be missing something. But I'm reading through my doctor's notes right now. So we don't have all of the numbers on here, but so I was laying down on the like little clinic bed that they have at the doctor's. And I think I laid down for 10 minutes. And then from there, they took my blood pressure while I was laying down right before I stood up. And then they took it again. I don't remember if they took one initially right when I stood up, but I remember the first one was after 5 minutes, like the the first one was after 5 minutes, and the second one was after either 10 or 15 minutes. And it went from 74 BPM to, I want to say it was like 117. And then the 10 or 15 minute one was 102. And so it says orthostatic vitals performed, HR increased from 74 to 102, withstanding, comma, symptomatic. And so now it's on my chart. I got a referral to neurology. Not sure what's gonna happen there. I think they're just gonna do like an actual tilt table test. Yeah. So where are we now? Also, I'm sorry if you like are coming into this thinking that it's gonna be like super professional. I'm using the cheapest heart rate. I don't know if I have the box anymore. I do. So I'm using the cheapest heart rate monitor. It's a chest strap, which I mean usually is very comfortable just sitting down, but in this video it was quite uncomfortable just because I was so bloated. But I'll put a link in the description. It's called the Cuspo H808S. Oh, yeah. There we go. I got it on Amazon. I believe it was under 30. I can go check that really quick. I'm gonna get that link ready too. It is. It's $29.59 and it has overnight shipping if you're a Prime member. But yeah, generally it's pretty comfortable. It comes out of the box smelling minty, which is weird, but it smells very minty coming out of the box. So if you want to buy that, just warning you, don't be freaked out. But yeah, this is a strap. It's just a regular like stretchy strap, and then it comes with like 2 buttons, and then you attach the actual device to the buttons, and then you just put it on below the titty area. The reviews, some of them said that the actual monitor itself continues draining power even when it's not on you. There's no on or off button. I don't know if that's true. I just immediately out of the box, if I'm not using it, I'm taking out the battery because I'm not trying to waste battery life if I'm not using it. And it takes these little, like, if you have a car fob, it takes one of those like little circle batteries, little discs. Did I go behind the couch? I remember while I was cleaning, I started out very strong, like good energy, nothing too bad. I'd already had a full liquid IV, so I wasn't, at least not. There's my baby. There's my tiny. She's my little co-host. She's 2. She's turning 3 in October. And it's actually funny because before I recorded this, when I had woken up, I recorded a video of me doing her hair, but she had touched my keyboard a couple times, so the actual video itself is cut up into like 4 or 5 pieces. Okay, so I went behind. No, I was vacuuming the couch. Yes, there we go. There we are. Now I know where I am. So I started out strong. I wasn't feeling too bad. It was just the normal, like, the normal oof, like when you stand up. Like if you have POTS, you understand. Like as soon as you stand up, it's like, ugh, a world is trying to pull you back down. And gravity is working against you. I'm also moving these chargers because they irritate the shit out of me. When I'm sweeping and they're swinging around, we are we have tried several times to get out of the habit of leaving chargers plugged in like that, just because I'm paranoid. I don't want my kids to like chew on them or something. Like, I don't know, they're not dogs, but I don't know, I get really nervous when we leave stuff plugged in like that. I'm moving my chair. So the day before, that big box you saw at the beginning of the video, that was my chair's box. I just got it from Amazon. I can also link that in the description. It is super comfortable. It eats your butt. It's not like super expensive. I think it was like 150. But oh my god, if you have like hip or back issues from sitting like at a desk, it's a good chair. I will link that. This is the Lysol concentrate. I've never used this one before. I do remember using a spray bottle that was that color, and it smelled not annoying. There's me sniffing it. I'm easily offended with smells, so cleaning products are a huge issue for me because I don't want to buy something and then end up absolutely disgusted with the smell. What am I doing? Filling up a bowl. Oh, okay, we're gonna clean the table. Yeah, my memory is bad. I'm actually medicated for ADHD, but I'm on an extended release capsule. And even though, like, it does help, it's only for maybe the first 3 or 4 hours that I take it, which was initially the reason I got swapped to extended release, is because the regular, like the tablet forms, they weren't cutting it for me. I was like 3 or 4 hours and, I get a little headache and then I get sleepy and go to bed. And if you're a mom, that's not going to work. But my extended release, still the same issue. I just avoid the crash. Usually. So even though I had deep cleaned this table a week, I want to say 5 or 6, so a week prior, it's still filthy. I mean, we don't eat all that much, like we eat macaroni and stuff, which I understand getting everywhere, especially for Tiny because she eats with her hands sometimes. But I don't know how these babies are getting food on the legs. Like, as far as we know, they don't really move the table when they're eating. But I don't know. When you have toddlers, bro, things you would not expect to get dirty are filthy. And then because of my suspected conditions, right now I'm suspecting that I have hyperadrenergic POTS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and mast cell activation syndrome. More on that in a second, but I shed like crazy. Like, I know if you have long hair, you're going to be shedding. It's going to be everywhere. But I mean, I am losing handfuls on handfuls of hair. And then I'm struggling to open a popsicle with one soapy hand. Do it the easy way. But yeah, I lose so much hair. I mean, you go use the bathroom and my hair is probably in between your butt cheeks. But there's hair on the bottom of the table. There's hair on the sponge already. You can see me picking it off. Can you put that back, please? Yeah, normally I don't let the kids have popsicles, but I recently bought these like sugar-free Outshine popsicles, and they've been going crazy for them. So, like, when I'm busy and they come at me and they say, "Hey, can I have a popsicle?" It's like, okay, yeah, sure. If that's what it's gonna take for you to let me do what I'm doing right now, I'll do it. It's sugar-free. I mean, it's got real fruit in it. I'm not noticing any crazy hyper, like, sugar rushes that you get from giving them actual those unhealthy type of popsicles. I normally cut tinies in half, but because my hands are covered in soap right now, I really did not want to do that. So sitting cross-legged, I'm looking at my heart rate right now, and it's pretty good. Ever, like, as far back as I can remember, I've always sat crisscross, and it messes me up because it is so comfortable for me that it's the only position that I feel comfortable sitting in. I sit crisscross, and then over the years, I've noticed my back like hunch more and more and more, and now I have that like hump in the back of my neck, which is also related to the trifecta. So I've been looking into like uh, connective tissue safe workouts that would help get rid of the bump in the back of my neck. And you can tell sometimes if you're paying attention, like how my shoulders are starting to shape towards the way I hunch over. It makes me kind of insecure when I'm out in public, especially wearing like tank tops and stuff. And the women in my family, you know, we have like pretty broad shoulders already. So I grew up thinking that's completely normal. So I'm not very insecure about my shoulders in general. But once I started noticing how I'm completely slumped over, yeah, I started getting very insecure about that. Look at that. What'd I say? If this is what I gotta do to let me do what I'm doing, then
yeah.
There's my Victor. He's 5. He was just diagnosed as on the spectrum as of last year. That was I was not surprised. I've been trying to advocate for him and get him diagnosed since, you know, he was born, but they don't diagnose babies. So I had to wait and gather evidence. But I suspected his father was autistic. And, you know, the typical, like, he didn't get it from me type stuff. I mean, he very well could get it from my side of the family. I'm not denying that. But throughout our relationship with his father, I always suspected he had autism. So it was not a surprise for me when he was born that he was a little different compared to like other babies that I'd taken care of. And I grew up taking care of all of my cousins, all my baby siblings. You know, I'm the oldest of 10 siblings. Yeah. There's my babies. Tiny, do you want a popsicle, baby? Tiny, you want a popsicle? You can have a popsicle. Go get one. Baby can't have cereal. And so going from sitting to standing right now, my heart rate is just all the way up there. From my research, going from sitting to standing and bending over, like the range that I should be in right now is between like 80 and 100 BPM. And you saw me go from, what was it, like low hundreds to 120. So not on the like super severe side, but it's definitely enough to be noticeable. These are daddy's. Don't tell daddy I gave it to you, okay? Okay? Oh, I'm gonna regret this. I'm gonna regret this. I'm at 130. Okay, that's the highest that I've seen it so far. I'm watching this the first time while recording, so we get like initial reactions and stuff. Unrelated though, I did some research today because I'm recording right now and I can see my face, and I can see my bottom teeth. I did some research today because I have been getting some really bad like the zing, you know, the zing in your jaw right here when you like smile or laugh with something sweet in your mouth. And it doesn't have to be sweet, but it's more common when it's sweet. Yeah, I grew up with the zing, but lately it's been happening like every single time I eat. And then I actually just uploaded a TikTok about it. But my other side, my left side, my jaw pops every time I open it. Every time I open my jaw or open my mouth, my jaw actually pops every single time without fail. And it started out like TMI, but it used to only pop after doing the gawk, you know? But now it's almost like it pops not like a joint popping, like when you pop your knuckles, it doesn't feel like that. It's like, how do I explain it? It's like, okay, imagine my hand had a groove right here, right? And you're moving something like a ball over it, and the ball is falling into the groove and back up. That's what the jaw pop feels like. And then it gives me like a lingering pain downwards a little bit, not very far, but upwards on the top of my jaw for sure, right under my cheekbone. And then, like, unrelated to the jaw pain, I recently asked ChatGPT, like, why the fuck is my face twitching right here every single day? And sometimes it's so persistent that it goes up towards my eyelid and my eyes start twitching. So it's my cheek and my eye. But it turns out if you have POTS, EDS, MCAS, the nerve in your jaw can get inflamed. You can have a jaw like a slight little misalignment that irritates the nerve or pinches the nerve, supposedly. And that could affect like parts of your face. My face is twitching right now because I'm moving my mouth so much. But also, I learned that because I have a missing molar, that's a long story, but I don't have a molar on the very back. So my teeth are actually migrating this way to fill the gap, which is why my teeth look so jank. And also, damn, my heart rate is high right now. All I'm doing is standing still. So I actually learned, sorry, getting distracted, ADHD. I learned that very early on when I was a kid, thanks to my dad being in the military, he taught us do not lock your knees when you're standing. And that means just standing straight. Do not do that. You will actually fuck up your circulation. So I am standing as best as I can without locking my knees, and my heart rate is still shooting up. But back to the teeth thing. If you have, I have a crossbite. If you have an overbite or an underbite, like even without having all the like disorders that I just mentioned, you can actually, it's not dislodging or dislocating. It's getting like a micro misalignment. I don't know. I went into this having a whole train of thought and now it's gone. But basically, because I have all these problems, like all the syndromes that I was talking about, it is exacerbating the problem. So because my body has been in 131, that's the highest I've seen it. Because my body has been in like a constant, like permanently flared state since April, I'm suspecting that while my teeth are moving like very slowly over time, but more right now because of the flares, I'm suspecting that because of it being, I don't want to say murdered, but I'm being killed by the sun, basically, like a vampire. I think that's pushing my jaw problems like front and center. And my heart rate is really high right now. So according to my research, again, just Googling it, nothing crazy, standing and sweeping, my heart rate should be between 85 and 105. It's really interesting. I've never recorded anything like this before. The closest that I've done is wear my smartwatch to work and like watch my stress levels throughout the day. And I thought, my stress levels were high, like high as shit. because I have agoraphobia. Like, I have extreme anxiety every time I leave the house or even think about leaving the house. Like, an hour before I have to leave, my heart rate is up there. So I didn't think anything of it while I was checking my stress levels while working. And I worked as a groundskeeper, so I was doing a lot of stuff, like manual labor type. Like that black bag right there, I'd be lifting full ones of those, you know, transporting those. I'd be breaking down boxes, picking up trash, you know, taking care of the property. And I'm gonna do a whole video on that later too. The tea with my work, it's not good. But yeah, keep in mind right now my heart rate should be between 85 and 105 beats per minute. Right now we're almost at 130.
Mommy!
Yes, baby.
It's scared. Somebody in this room.
Close the door. Yeah, you see what I mean? These kids manifest crumbs. Like, they are crumb magnets.
Yeah.
Do not touch my face.
Okay. So we here. You can see.
So I got these couches off Amazon. It's a couch and love seat pair. They separate into 3 pieces, both of them do. So the center and then both sides. The only complaint that I have about these couches, it was $1,600, by the way, for both of them. They're comfortable as hell. The only complaint that I have about them is that they're basically propped up on 2 metal bars, like one in the front, one in the back. So when you're moving them back and forth, a lot of the shit that's trapped under those couches is not coming up. So you need to actually manually pick up the couch and put it somewhere else. But because the main couch is too heavy, I'm just scooting it. There's not much I can do for that. My spouse is at work, so doing what I can with what I have available, which I have all the cleaning tools I need. I don't have the manpower. And I'd rather not wait for him to get off work to start deep cleaning because, you know, he's probably cleaning units all day. He works where we live right now is where we worked. So I had to medically resign 2 weeks ago. He still works here. It's a lease up, brand new property. It's 2 apartment buildings, brand new. And so most of the time he's either cleaning units for new move-ins or he's taking care of the property because I'm not there anymore. So yeah, and it's summer, so I know if he's at work, he's probably doing a lot. So I'm not trying to make him come home and start moving couches for me. I'd rather wait for the weekend. The love seat is similar. It's not as heavy, but it's up there. And you can't see because I'm not smart. I didn't move the webcam over to see that far. But when I moved the love seat, which is this one right here, there were, initially it was just a blue marker or a blue crayon that was trapped in the back metal piece. And when I moved it, it drew all across the floor. I think I actually show the camera the crayons that I find. I don't know where I ran off to. Oh, I'm grabbing my mop bucket. Okay, so walking around, I should be going down to about 105 beats per minute, but I'm still quite up there, and that is because I remember all the points in which I overheated. Right now, I'm getting extremely hot. The AC is blasting, by the way. It's blasting into the living room. It actually comes over from that monitor that you can see at the edge of the bar, the opposite of me. The AC is right next to that. It's blowing into my corner, so it's actually circulating where I'm sitting. So right now, my heart rate should not be this high if I were like a normal person just doing some regular chores. But when I overheat, it's not the same as if a normal person was to overheat. I don't sweat unless it's in my armpits. The only place that sweats is my armpits. And if I'm in like a prolonged heat situation, like outside or something, my face actually turns oily instead of sweaty. And I didn't grow up questioning that, so I thought that's just how my body was. But it turns out, because of POTS, I don't sweat properly. So usually when I'm overheating, my armpits are not like soaking wet. It's just the only place that does get like damp. And when I overheat, it's like all the nerves in my body is like flashing like yellow, red, like we are gonna get into the danger zone if you don't stop. That's what it feels like for me. And then if I push myself past that point, I actually start getting blurry vision, extremely dizzy, nauseous. And then if I keep standing past that point, I pass out. I have gone to the ER several times for passing out. I think all of them have been, yeah, I'm pretty sure all of my ER visits have been during the summer. They started, it got way worse when I was pregnant with my son. The first time I ever fainted, I wasn't even showing yet, so I wasn't worried about the baby, but I fainted at the bus stop and I called myself an ambulance because I fainted, but then I like got right back up not even a minute later. So like on the outside, it might have just looked like I tripped and fell. There's the crayon. There's the devil. But yeah, I've had at least 5 EKGs from fainting and then having to go to the ER. And then on top of that, I have a lot of blood work in my medical history. Nothing crazy. It's like when I was pregnant specifically, it was vitamin D, low platelets, and anemic. I was anemic both my pregnancies. Outside of being pregnant, I have low iron, but I'm not like below, like there's the green and then outside of the green is the yellow. I'm still within the green. I'm just very, very low. Yeah, 140 is my highest now. I'm trying to use my knees, not my back. And by this point, I'm actually getting to that point where if I don't stop doing whatever I'm doing, like moving the couch, I will faint. Oh, there's more crayons. Little devils. I don't know how they got under the couch, but they did. You see all these crumbs, like where do they come from? The type of snacks that my babies have, they're like fruit snacks, fruit leather, actual fruit. I don't understand where these crumbs come from. Also, fun fact, I've had these leggings for a year and I did not know the backs of the bottom went up like that in that little triangle. Yeah, I've been wearing them for a year. I had no idea they did that. It's because I usually put on my socks before I put on pants. Like I have to have socks first and then put on pants. I don't know what it is, but I have to have the socks on first. So I didn't really give myself, yep, I'm overheating a little bit there. Gotta move this bag so I can sweep under it for all these crumbs that go on. And you can see my hairball. My hairball on the broom. I lose so much hair. You should see my bathroom. I can go make you a hairball right now from my bathroom floor. And it's not that I'm brushing my hair. I don't brush my hair to try and like not lose hair. I don't brush it very often, but yeah, I was recommended by Google to start using satin pillowcases and wearing bonnets when I sleep. The problem with bonnets, though, I have not found a bonnet. If anyone's watching this, if you have a recommendation for a bonnet that actually stays on your head, because I'm an aggressive sleeper, I have vivid nightmares. I move a lot. I get hot, I wake up, I move. I wake up, my back hurts, I move. Uh, my legs are numb, my arms are numb. I wake up, I move. Like, I move a lot when I'm asleep. And I bought at least 5 different brands of bonnets where they like promise that they'll stay on your head. I haven't found any that stay on my head. But yeah, if you have any recommendations, please drop a link in the comments. You see all of these crumbs. I don't know where they come from. And this was okay, so I go grocery shopping every week. And by go grocery shopping, I mean I order groceries. I order groceries once a week. I'll admit it. It's because I don't want to be in the heat. But this was actually the week where the kids have veggie straws, you know, those like chip snacks. They have veggie straws, but they haven't eaten them. So where do these crumbs come from? It's actually super interesting to watch my heart rate as I'm cleaning. It's like, and especially after looking up what like a typical heart rate would be, and I specified because I am 5'3", 144 pounds, female, so I specified that in my search. So these aren't outrageously, like, I don't know what to call it, like predicted numbers or whatever, but yeah. So again, sweeping, I should be like around 105. Mommy. Yes, baby, you did it. Good job. You gotta throw that away and then come here so I can give you a wipe. So initially for this video, I wanted to turn it into like a montage, but then I was like, you know what? I am really trying to like build a community on my YouTube and Twitch for moms who have disabilities, but also like to play games. So would it be better for me to upload a montage with my heart rate in it? Or would it be better for me to kind of narrate over the video and like give context? And I actually am finding this heart rate monitor super helpful because it's proving to me, like, I'm not gaslighting myself right now seeing the numbers. I'm not like, oh, people like deal with this normally, it's not like crazy or whatever. No, like, I'm seeing the numbers, I'm seeing my numbers while doing a job, and it's like, specifically sweeping, I should be around 105 BPM, but I'm in the 120s, 130s. And yeah, it's not debilitating, but the thing that I don't give myself is grace. And I need to realize, like, yeah, this might not be too bad. It's just a household chore. Like, this is stuff that I have to do sometimes on a weekly basis, sometimes on a daily basis. You gotta day by day for that because you have kids. But if it's a good week, I only have to do it once a week. But I'm not letting myself realize. My kid just threw a fucking popsicle at me. Tiny, come here. You gotta wipe your face. The thing I'm not letting myself realize is that compared to what I was doing at work 2 weeks ago, made it so bad that I had to drop what I was doing and go see the doctor. And keep in mind, I'm drinking, 4 liquid IVs a day. I'm gonna mute really quick so I can yell at the kids. Okay, so I actually want to comment on this because it's been bothering me so much. I bought this little kit that you use for like induction stoves or glass stoves or whatever they're called. And this scraper has been saving my ass because I don't know when that paper got glued to the floor or what it got glued to the floor with, but it would not come up with the mop. And I was like, most of the time, by the time I get to the mopping, it's like, I don't want to deal with this. So I just kind of mop over it and move along. I'm going to go back to muting so I can yell at my kids again. I'm actually going to be right back because I have to pee. But yeah, pay attention to the heart rate while I'm squatted down versus when I stand up. And if I miss it, I'll have to go back to it. But pay attention to that because squatting, standing back up from a squat, I should be at about 115 or 120. So pay attention to that when I stand up. Okay, so I did not see how, you know what, I'm just gonna rewind. Let me, 108. So we're not far off now from it being over. I initially wanted to make a longer video and do a little swap over to. I was either going to bring the laptop into my son's room or just prop my phone up and record it that way. My son's room is an absolute mess. I wanted to record cleaning that. Here I'm overheating a little bit again. I think I just got a little dizzy and moved on. I remember several points where I got very dizzy and my heart rate is going up. And all I'm doing is throwing some jewelry that I found on the floor back into my bathroom, into my jewelry box. That's cool though. You can see that I got dizzy before my heart rate actually rose. And also, I kind of want to throw it out there. I'm not like a professional. I haven't talked to any professionals. I've just been doing some research using Google and Chat GPT. Chat GPT is actually how I found out that I might have POTS, and push it. AI isn't really the best tool to use when trying to figure out what's wrong with you, but also I was just telling it my symptoms and my diagnoses because I was diagnosed as bipolar. I was on a lot of meds. I was trying to figure out which of my meds was causing chest pain. Turns out none of them were causing chest pain. It was me causing chest pain by working. But yeah, ChatGPT actually pushed me to ask my doctor to test for POTS or refer me out to get tested for POTS. And turns out it was right. So yeah, not the best tool. Not Like, I understand the arguments against using AI, but I mean, I don't know how much longer I could have gone, because I have documentation going back for 6 or 7 years of these problems that I've been having, and no one connected the dots to it being POTS, which is not. I'm not shit talking my doctors. Like, they're definitely doing their best with what they got, and a lot of times it's hard not to treat all these weird things as isolated incidents, especially if you're not all that familiar with all the different things that could come along with having POTS. Like, I have frequent UTIs. There was one year where I got a UTI. It was either every other month or every 2 months. And I got a referral over to urology for that. But yeah, it turns out UTIs like that are part of POTS because you're not fully emptying your bladder. And my urology visit actually proved that, because there was nothing different about the bacteria culture and the medicine. The antibiotics that I was using were the right antibiotics. Like, it was at the point where I was on a prophylactic antibiotic dose. I was on a daily dose of an antibiotic because we couldn't figure out what was causing my UTIs. And I did everything. I swapped, my hygiene habits, making sure to hydrate well enough that I can pee before and after sex, taking a shower afterwards, and wiping front to back. That one's super important. I personally haven't been wiping back to front since my early teens, but I swapped to cotton underwear. There was a period where I slept without underwear because that can really let that area breathe, especially since I sleep on my left side most often, so my legs are closed, and that's a very hot environment to be in. Yeah, nothing worked, and then all of a sudden I just stopped getting UTIs. So it was like, why keep looking into it if it's not a problem anymore? You know what I mean? Why keep wasting resources on something that's not an issue currently? Right now, I'm just reusing the mop head that I used behind the couch just to get everything wet. It's not to clean the floor, so if you get irked because I'm mopping a very big space with one mop head, don't worry about it. And if you're wondering what kind of mop that is a Rubbermaid mop. That's what I used when I did housekeeping. I believe it's off of HD Supply. It's either HD or Medline. I don't know if you can order stuff off Medline, but I didn't buy it. It was not a mop that I bought myself. I acquired it through other means. And no, I will not elaborate. I did, however, get these mop heads off Amazon. It was, I believe, a 6-pack for like $3 or $4, and they're microfiber. And then the mop head is just Velcro. You just stick it on. Also got that mop bucket. It collapses, off of Amazon, and that was also $5. And I have this thing, if you're wondering why I did that, I have this thing with cleaning chemicals. If I'm mopping the floor, I need to be able to feel the floor with my bare feet to make sure it is clean. It's the same thing with using a magic eraser. I need to use my bare hand. I don't know why. Using bleach, I have to use my bare hand even though it tears up my cuticles and stuff. I don't know what it is, but I have to use my bare hands. And that actually, it makes my ADHD worse, especially when doing dishes, because I don't want to touch that nasty ass food that's in the sink. And especially with these kids, I can't like, hey, make sure you rinse out your plate or you rinse out your bowl. That's not gonna work. I got little kids and they're just throwing shit in there. But the whole like, I need to feel the soap on my hands. It sucks when doing dishes because I'm not wearing gloves, so that nasty shit, I'm most likely gonna have to touch it. Especially for stuff that I can't just scoop out into the garbage. I'm struggling to come up with an example, but I'm sure there are some. And then, oh, this was so funny. I was gonna leave it. You see that? And then debating whether or not throwing away the bag of chips because I didn't want to think of a place to put it, and then remembering that I have another bag of chips, the exact same chips, also half eaten, just laying on the counter next to the coffee pot. So I just put it next to that one. It is interesting for me to see my heart rate so high, and I'm just standing there walking back and forth. Get nasty shit about the blow. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Where did I go? Wherever I'm going, my heart rate's up there again. I know I keep saying it, but it's like, wow. Like, if I had this heart rate monitor while I was working, I am worried about what it might have looked like. Yep, me walking over the wet floor because I need to know that it's clean with my feet. Let's see, how far are we now? Nearly finished. So the rest of the video is just me clearing off the counter and working up to doing dishes, which I ended up not doing. Oh no, I tried the magic eraser on the crayon that's on the kids' table. It did not work. The table is textured in some parts, and it was just attaching color to those spots even when I rinsed. But the rest of this, yeah, I'm just working up to do the dishes because I had deep cleaned the kitchen a week before. I want to say like 6 days before cleaning the living room again. So it was still pretty clean in there, just a few pots and pans that needed to go in the dishwasher. But yeah, if you made it this far, I appreciate it, you know. Like I said, I'm trying to build up either a YouTube or a Twitch or both type of community. Streaming games. I don't have a set genre of games yet. I do enjoy playing all different kinds of things. Like, I'll go from playing Halo to fucking League of Legends, and I haven't touched League of Legends in months, but if you're interested in that type of stuff, I mostly stream with my webcam on. I don't usually get rid of my background. I'm just doing this so I can kind of narrate over it without taking up half the screen. I usually stream after Insim. I love watching Insim stream, so I gotta set time aside to watch.
And today we hear Enemy's mine.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
So for me, that's after about 2:30 p.m.
Yeah, and that's how you do it.
Unless he's playing a game that is not really my style, then I'll have him playing in the background and I'll start streaming earlier than that.
That's right. So, Mom.
But if you're interested in that type of stuff, I'm gonna try and keep it real. I'm still at the very beginning. I'm still. I only have a couple uploads to my YouTube right now. Just got Twitch reset up from when I wanted to stream in like 2019. The way my stuff is gonna be set up, I'm mostly gonna be ADHDing between what I'm playing and dealing with the kids. Put those back, please. Victor, put them back. Tiny, put them back. Thank you. I'll be swapping between playing games and doing what I did just now, which is talk to the kids, yell at the kids, etc. And then also, I'll be trying to put it back. I'll be trying to do more research and really keep like the medical side of what I'm going through a part of my streams. One second, I gotta yell at her. What's it saying? Oh, I want to keep like the medical updates, the research that I'm doing into it. I want to keep that a part of it. And you know, one of the things that I'm actually really anxious about going into like the gaming, streaming mom type of community, I'm super anxious about people being like, why are you yelling at your kids? Why don't you get up and take care of it? Like, it really helped for people to understand. And that's why I'm trying to do like the medical part of it being like a main theme, I guess, is so that people don't come in asking those kinds of questions. And it's like, I can start out a stream or a video saying like, I'm having a bad POTS day, or I did not sleep good last night because I had a very bad nightmare and it's affecting my energy. Then, you know, instead of negativity, it's like, this is what it looks like when a mom with PTSD has a very vivid nightmare. This is what it looks like for that day in real life. Like, and you know, being unreactive and having resting bitch face and stuff like that. It's like, you will understand what's going on. And I want to be able to balance that and really represent other moms that might have POTS or PTSD or, you know, possibly bipolar, but I'm trying to get that removed because I have done a little bit more research into that. I don't think I have bipolar. I believe now that I'm on this birth control that back when I was diagnosed with bipolar, that's mostly what it looked like. But now with like my documentation and following patterns, mood swings and stuff like that is more of a POTS thing. And I don't think like mania or depressive episodes were bipolar. I believe that they were heavily tied into like my hormone or what day of the cycle that I was on, because I was on the next plan on birth control, the arm implant. And so I didn't have, you know, like a regular cycle. It was, sometimes it was bleeding for 3 to 6 months straight. Sometimes I didn't bleed at all for, you know, 11, 12 months, so a year basically. And I could tell like with my voice changes and my hair growth and all that kind of stuff that it wasn't the birth control for me. Like, it was severely messing up all types of cycles in my body. And I think that heavily impacted the bipolar diagnosis. But yeah, I'm just kind of rambling on now till I'm done making it look like I clean the kitchen. Yeah, if you made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. Drop a like, hit subscribe. The only thing I would warn against for subscribing is, you know, be careful, because a lot of my videos are going to have moments where Tiny is jump scaring or blowing out speakers by screaming. and I tried to get a better microphone. I got a lapel mic this time. I had a blue snowball prior to this. I think I'm done.
Whoa!
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so if you liked it, thank you for making it this far. You can see my XSplit watermark because I'm a poor bitch. But yeah, long and drawn out thank you. I greatly appreciate you making this far, and I hope you stick around and enjoy some more mom slash medically disabled slash gaming content. Thank you. Bye bye.